Ready to get your buzz on? Sports Buzz is here to take all calls and answer all questions about your favorite team, coach, or player, local, regional, and national. Sports Buzz, taking calls and kicking game.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org, Louisville's only live TV sports talk show. We're here every Sunday night from 11 to 12. I'm your host, Greg Brom, and as I say, we're Louisville's only live TV sports talk show. Tonight, we're not live because we have a very special guest. We won't be taking calls because we don't want to take up any of his TV time. Tony Vanetti, the host of the Afternoon Underdogs, makes his first appearance on the Sunday night couch.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And Greg and I, we have to tape because right now, currently, we're singing in a choir downtown. We have lovely voices, and we just want to be part of the church community downtown, correct?
Absolutely. We do good deeds throughout the week, and we're very, spiritual people.
Greg and I go way back. We were just talking old Golden Nugget stories from 1994. Plus, I told you in the break, I unearthed in my garage this plaque that I have from talking to the Sportsman's Club in like 1998, something crazy. Remember you and I talked to that group?
Absolutely, down at the old River
Road Country Club. The average age was about 85. Everyone wanted to talk about Howard Schnellenberger, remember? And we knocked him dead, and they gave us plaques, and we left.
Absolutely, and you're gonna rock it tonight, I guarantee you. Tony, the host of the Afternoon Underdogs, and we're going to cover tonight Louisville basketball, football, do a little recap, a little preview of next season. Tony, you have become really the voice, I think, of Louisville fans.
Oh, well,
maybe Paul Rogers is the voice of the Cards.
Yes.
You're the voice of the fans, I think, in this community.
I think so. I try not to pull too many punches on the radio. Look, I'm going to try to truth you. If you think that it's going awry or you don't agree with what's going on, then we're certainly going to let you know about it. But we are the heartbeat, I think, on that show of, boy, when the excitement is up, we go with them. And sometimes we don't call it like it is because we're fans. You know how it is, but how that goes. But I appreciate that. We try to call it like we see it, but it's a lot of fun.
And one of the greatest years in Louisville athletic history this past season. We're going to get to that in a moment, but we do want to start off with really what has been the news of the last couple of weeks around here. Basically, maybe because there's nothing else going on sports-wise in this community as far as football, basketball, because Julie Herman and her situation at Rutgers has taken the headlines. And Julie is right now kind of in a precarious situation.
She is, but she's not, Greg. I mean, if she gets let go, she still gets money to walk. She gets $2 million to walk. So really, she's not. If she loses her job, she's got $2 million cushion. I don't know if, Greg, can I get a job that pays me $500,000, but if you fire me, you pay me
I thought you did have one of those.
4 times that. No, I got to pay them if they fire me. That's how that works. But when you get to that certain level, she's in a precarious situation. The particulars, I think.
Is it fair? Is it fair? What
yes.
is the scrutiny she's getting?
Oh, absolutely, yes. If she's interviewing for the job at Toledo, all right, where they haven't had a problem with an abusive coach, then okay, all right. You don't want to maybe bring that up in the interview process. But if you're there to clean up a mess of an abusive coach, and there's something in your past when you were a coach, I think that's pertinent to the conversation. Do you bring it up or not is another question, but I think there's a trust issue now between her new boss and her, right? Because you didn't bring it up in the interview process.
I tell you what, she probably was a bit naive thinking that going to the New York media market wasn't going to come out. I mean, it's coming out. Everything that happened is coming out.
Yes.
But I don't know if I bring it up if I'm not asked. Because you don't get that job.
Okay.
She brings that up. She does not get that job.
Okay, Greg, you're the boss. I'm interviewing you. You're replacing me. I don't bring it up. But now, do you think there's a trust issue? Are you not going to call me and go, Tony, do you think it was not a good idea to tell me about the Tennessee thing? This is my job, man. Are you kidding me? You're not making that. Is there not a trust issue between Greg and Tony?
There's absolutely a trust issue at that point. And
with your new boss.
Yeah, with your new boss, there's a trust issue with how you move forward.
Right.
To tell you the truth, though, I think her boss he has so little standing right now.
Oh, I know.
At Rutgers, she will run the show because that guy seems like a clown.
Well,
he handled the press conference with Mike Rice, his firing, like it was a circus. It was terrible. I almost feel bad for Julie if she does have to go work for the guy.
Well, again, it went from the greatest hire ever in 1 week to like, boy, this is a disaster for everyone up at Rutgers. But again, with the Governor Christie coming out for them, and for her, and taking her back the other day on the radio show was huge for her. I mean, he basically said, "Get your facts straight." You heard the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when he comes out, everybody's scared of him too. So if he comes out in your corner,
he's very powerful.
He's very, very powerful in that state, and more nationally. So I think the more time that passes, I think the better chance she has to stick.
And I think she's going to do a fantastic job. Any of those, look, there's an MO of hiring at the University of Louisville. They don't hire anybody that's not a Bulldog, all right? If you work there, you know what I'm talking about. You know, you were a Bulldog, Greg. You are a Bulldog when you work for the University of Louisville. When you meet with anybody at the University of Louisville, those meetings, they'll tell you how the meeting's going to go before the meeting starts, all right? Dan McDonald is sort of a Bulldog. Ken Lola is a Bulldog for the soccer. Dan McDonald for the baseball team. They're all the same MO. Charlie Strong. All right, very aggressive folks there. Administrators are the same way. Julie Herman's cut from that cloth, and she's going to do, if she keeps her job at Rutgers and they move into the Big Ten, she's going to do an amazing job for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing about Julie, all my interactions with her in her position at Louisville were always positive.
Yeah.
She was peppy. You could tell she was tough,
right.
But she had so much energy. So all the support she's getting from Louisville is very solid. I mean, that's very justified. Now, does it disqualify her for Rutgers, though? What happened at Tennessee? It was 15, 16 years ago, which I think does matter. But does the fact that she even has an incident like that disqualify her for that job?
No one wants to persecute people that make mistakes in their lives and then they make themselves better, right? You're really going to pay for your sins for 15, 16 years ago? Really? But there's a gigantic but there. You just said it, Greg. Does she get the job if she tells them about the Tennessee thing?
No, because...
Okay, bingo.
Right.
There's your answer to your question.
Yeah.
All right, she doesn't get the gig if she tells them about this situation at Tennessee. That's a problem. They had an abusive coach. If the Rutgers coach was caught smoking crack with his players, and then she had an incident to where she was smoking crack with her players at Tennessee, you understand, you've got to draw the same line there. It's the same situation. It's a problem. Now, she's a wonderful person. I think she's going to do a great job if she keeps her job there, but she's got a problem with credibility. She lied about the video.
Yeah, absolutely. The selective memory. You remember when you're in a wedding. You do remember that. There's no doubt about it.
Greg,
you don't remember any details of the wedding, Tony, but you remember that you actually had to dress up to go there. That's the last thing you remember.
I remember picking up the tux, and then right after that, I don't remember too much. There was a trolley ride, and then we ended up at the Golden Nugget. But no, you remember, and then looking in the camera and saying, "What are you talking about? I think she eloped." You caught the bouquet. There's video of her.
Don't ever say there's no video. You know what's saving her, Tony, on the whole thing at Tennessee too? What might be in her corner? There's no video of that. Mike Rice was fired because they had video of what happened. Yeah. There's no video of anything that happened at Tennessee. Right. It's all just word. The players were, I believe the players, to be honest with you. Most
sure. Oh, yes. Why not?
But if there was video of one incident of her making them, I think the worst thing, even in the whole list of things, was making public humiliation of wearing your jersey inside out or something. When you do it public, I think that almost is the worst thing in the whole list.
That and not eating. The whole, you're not going to eat between road trips. I don't even know what that means.
Well, and I think the longer
now, look,
it passes,
you played for a guy that wouldn't allow water breaks.
You
played for Howard Schnellenberger.
It was different time. Coaches can do, the world is changing, and we've said it on this show, the athletic world is changing, and the last people to figure it out are the coaches and players. Yeah. Because they're going to treat the athletic field like your office, like your workplace. Yeah. That's how you're going to talk to people, and it's coming.
That's exactly right.
But we'll see what happens with Julie Herman. The longer it goes, I think the better chance she has to stick there at Rutgers. When we come back, we're going to talk about Louisville basketball, get into Kentucky, get into the upcoming football season. This is the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Okay.
Smart shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
Get everything you need to make that old ride look new again at Smart Shoppers, the region's largest auto body supplier, providing you the full line of professional-grade materials at the best prices around. Paint like the pros with a full line of House of Color paint products, only at
Smart Shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
I thought all cleaning services were the same until Molly made my carpets fresh, until Molly made my bathroom glow, until Molly made my kitchen shine. I thought all cleaning services were too expensive until Molly made my day. Now, meet the cleaning professionals that work as hard as you do. Call this number for your free in-home consultation and customized estimate. Wow, Molly Maid was here.
Ohio Valley Wrestling, Saturdays at 12 noon, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on ION 21.
So when we are back, we'll scar your mind. Fight, 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 fight.
We're back at the Sunday Sports Bus presented by livingforless.org. Greg Brom tonight, joined by my good friend all the way back to the Trinity days, Tony Vanetti, the voice of the Louisville fans, I call him. And he's with us here tonight.
I got a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm putting Greg Brom on his own show on the spot here, okay? Two of the greatest quarterbacks. Your dad was pretty good quarterback, but two of the greatest quarterbacks to play for U of L ever happened to sleep down the hall from you. Your two brothers. Now, where does Teddy stack up? Now, does Teddy stack up with your two brothers? Now, a lot of people believe Jeff, from our generation, believe Jeff is better than Brian. But if you're under 25, everyone thinks Brian's better than Jeff, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, well, where does Teddy fall in between those two guys?
I tell you what, Teddy, I think he's right up there. He's right up there on the same level with those two guys. We're not going to rank them.
Get ready for coach speak, ladies.
We're not going to rank them. I would like to see another year like the end of last year for the entire program, the entire team at Louisville. But Teddy's right there. I mean, Teddy's right there, probably top 5 quarterback at Louisville history.
All right, there we go.
Right to the top by the end of the year. If he goes to the Heisman ceremony, he's number 1.
If he gets to New York,
number 1.
he's number 1 overall.
Yeah, he's number 1 overall. I believe.
Because you got to discount Johnny Unitas, because Johnny Unitas' numbers at U of L just don't stack up. He did whatever he did in the pros. I will tell you this. I agree with you. If he gets to New York, you got to put him number 1 on the list, I think. Okay, but I will tell you this. I thought Brian played great competition when he was here, but if I got one game to win, Jeff Brom, I'm telling you what, Jeff got the moxie, and I tell you, with being able to scramble and be able to deliver the rock, he's the trigger man.
I tell you what,
I'd pull the trigger on Jeff Brom if I got one game to win. Jeff, I love you, brother.
And he's like a mean old,
gritty
quarterback.
Right.
I tell you what, if we were taking calls, Handsome Jimmy'd be calling in right now.
It'd
just be a Jeff Brom fest. Jeff has one of the most impressive high school highlight videos I've ever seen. We were talking about the other day that if we just gave that to like Jody Dimley, said, put this on as a new recruit Louisville's, it would stand the test of time today.
Guaranteed.
You'd be like, who is this guy? He was ahead of his time. He was Vic before Vic.
He'd be a 5-star. That's right. He extended plays. And then the crazy thing was when he extended plays, he'd be in the corner, about to get pinched out of bounds, and he would deliver across the field strike.
Absolutely. Well, okay, now I've said enough good things about Jeff that I can now live with the fact that I said Teddy might be number 1. Would be number 1 if he went to New York. So I actually can go home on Sunday now because we said enough good things about it.
I love it.
All right, we're talking about Louisville with Tony Vanetti tonight. And we all just went on a magical ride. I really think it was one of the most fun seasons, most fun 2 months for sure. Or February, March, that time frame, early April, that we've gone on around here in many, many years. 27 years since Louisville won the title. They win it in just spectacular fashion. Tony, we both remember the 80 team.
Yeah.
The first team to win the title with Griff. We remember the 86 team. We were in high school at the time.
Yes.
Magical times for us.
Sure.
Here's a team that comes and wins another championship.
Yeah.
This team right here, does this qualify as your favorite Louisville team of all time?
It's hard because you're still trying to absorb that team. The 80 team, all those members sort of stuck around in the community. They're all leaders in the community. They're all teachers or professors or they're business leaders in the city of Louisville. The 86 championship team seemed to bust up. You know, they didn't really. Purvis Ellison's. The next time he was at Freedom Hall was when they closed the place. It was like 25 years that he did not come back to Louisville. You don't see much of Tony Kimbrough. Milt Wagner ended up in a Memphis uniform. You know, it was like weird things like that. Jeff Hall seemed to kind of disappear. So the 80 team is...
Herb Crooks even from Louisville.
That's what I'm saying. It's really tough to discern. But I'll tell you, this team was a magical run because all the guys are so likable. Siva, so likable. Gorgie Zhang, so likable. And the fact that that the two stars, Wayne and Shane, sort of stepped back and let two guys, newcomers, come in and do their thing. Hancock, are you kidding me? The Ware situation that brought the Ware and the Duke. If you wrote a script and you're Disney and you're going, well, what's going to happen in the tournament? Well, who are they playing? Duke and the Elite Eight. Perfect. And then what will happen? You couldn't write it to the way it came out. He breaks his leg. He's saying win it. And then they blow Duke off the floor by 22 points. And we're not talking about a slacker Duke team. This team was ranked #1 during the regular season. A lot of people believe they should have been the #1 overall seed, but they lost to Miami in the ACC championship run. So that knocked them to a 2 seed?
Oh, it was the toughest 2 seed.
Ridiculous.
By far, you got to go through Duke to get to the Final Four.
And you ran them off the floor by 22 on Easter Sunday in Indianapolis. Boy, that's an amazing story.
Absolutely. And I actually think it's my favorite team. I think it tugs at the heartstrings more than even the other two titles. I know Griff went in that first one.
Right.
When he promised it and he delivered it was huge. But the way it all played out, going to Rupp Arena for the first 2 rounds, going to Indianapolis, everybody's there.
Yep.
I mean, everybody was on the move. The whole nation was following the Louisville nation.
Yes, the non-basketball fans jumped on board when the Kevin Ware thing came on, and they were kind of America's team. Sorry if you don't believe that, but that's a reality. I know there's Kentucky fans watching this right now going, they were not America's team. They were America's team. David Letterman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
I tell you what, and we're going to talk about a little later in the show, the guy I felt the best for is Rick Pitino. I mean, he became likable, so much more likable over the last couple of years.
You think?
I call it Sears. Sophisticated.
The softer side of Rick.
He really has had a resurgence, and we're going to talk about it here in our next couple of segments, the resurgence of Rick Pitino, where he stands right now in the world of college basketball, where he stands as an icon. He's always been up there, but he took it to another level. We're going to be back with Tony Vanetti, the Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Little Bo Peep wanted a car for keeps. She looked all around and got turned down. Then she met the fine folks here at Jim Brown Auto Sales.
Don't let the wool be pulled over your eyes. Come see my daddy's flock of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs with down payments as low as $99. Visit us today on the web at www.JimBrownAutoSales.com. Who's your daddy?
¿Quién es su papá? Cha cha. Hey, I'm Jenny Merriman from 21 Live, and I want you to check out our website, shop21live.com. Every area of life, we've got the best stuff from Kentuckiana. We bring it to you at the best possible prices. Your old favorites and new stuff popping up all the time. So before you make any of your plans or any of your purchases, check out our website, shop21live.com. And absolutely, if you want the best values on the best stuff around, check out our show. We're on Ion 21 Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
All right, summer has begun, and I know you're going to be hitting the links. We have a great deal for you. For $99, you get 8 great golf courses from Maywood, The Falls, Stonecrest, Indian Springs, Covered Bridge. I mean, these are all courses you've heard of. You probably played them before. A value, you're saying a $535 value. You're getting it for $99. That is unbelievable.
That's your whole summer.
You just planned your whole summer. Every weekend, you get a buddy, buy 2 of these, 964-2121, or shop21live.com, 964-2121.
Okay, because if you could play more than 8 weekends of golf this summer, you're a lucky man.
Who has time to play? I'm not a golfer. I wish they had 2. You could play like 9 holes.
That's what I'm saying.
2 hours.
Right, I'm more of a 9.
Schedule.
But if you play more than 8 this summer, then you're on a roll.
You can get all these in. They're close by. And it's a great mixture of courses, and it's $99. Make sure you take advantage of this while supplies last. It's going to be a limited supply of these, so call now, call this week, and you'll be on the course next weekend.
That is $99. That's like Bob Dominy's bar tab for a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That's one night.
That's Tuesday. You're right. That is Tuesday for him. So pocket change for my man Dominy. We're with Tony Vanetti. We're talking cards, the basketball season, Rick Pitino. How did he turn it around? I mean, look, just think back a couple of years. I know it all went downhill with the Cypher situation.
Florida.
Cal came in. What
South
happened?
Florida game, the South Florida home game where they lose on senior night. We thought he had 2 feet in the grave. Calipari was going to Final Fours and doing his thing and recruiting the greatest players you've ever seen in your life take the floor. And Rick, you just watched South Florida. They were more athletic than Louisville was. And you're like, how did this happen? You had ousted from the first round the last 2 seasons, and you're thinking, out in the first round the last 2 seasons, you just lost to South Florida on senior night, where you're supposed to be playing your best going into the Big East tournament. You got run by Syracuse on their place, and then you started the Big East tournament where they won. They went to New York and won it. And then they went to the Final Four. It turned everything around. Rick is, again, and we've always said it. I know you said it on your show. I've said it on my show. Count out Rick Pitino in your own peril.
Absolutely.
All right? This guy is not going to go quietly. He's not Bob Knight, okay? He's not. He decided the best thing that happened to Rick Pitino, sorry, Calipari, best thing to happen to him.
He had to pick up his game. He had to change.
Yes.
And it's hard for coaches who've been doing it so long to actually be flexible and change. I think Rick Pitino did change. I think Madison Square Garden got his mojo back a little bit. If that tournament, that Big East tournament last year is
in
somewhere else, you know what?
Something?
Rick Pitino, the magic maybe doesn't come back.
That's right.
But that place does bring it out in Pitino. Right. Louisville makes that run. I think they finished the year the second best team, losing to Kentucky. Kentucky by far and away the best team.
Yes.
And I think he had that energy and that hunger back, and he believed. I think everybody started to believe he could do it. And I think he brought back that brand that was Rick Pitino basketball. I think when Louisville hired Rick, they thought they were going to get that 90 Kentucky system.
Yes.
He brought that back. Teams were scared of Louisville. The defense, just the thought of playing Louisville's defense this year, it's the press, that frightened teams.
They set NCAA records for steals and turnovers. Steals and turnovers, they set an NCAA record. You could tell in the first 5 games of the season, this is the best defense I've ever seen. And I was comparing it to Arkansas in '94, and people were like, you're crazy. What are you smoking? That's ridiculous. Well, at the end of the year, really? I mean, people were saying you have to see these guys play defense in person to appreciate it.
Hey, you remember where they used to tell us in grade school, like you're playing man-to-man, hey, arm's length, get arm's length, don't let him, so he can't go by you. Louisville, it's like this.
Oh,
it's like this at mid-court, all over the court. They're not. You're not going by those guys.
Well,
they changed the way you play defense.
The second that Siva and Smith could play together well, because remember, even during Duke in the Bahamas, it was like when Siva was on the floor, he was doing well, and Russ was off, and then they would switch out. We're like, you know what? If they can do that magic show together on the floor, Louisville's going to be pretty good. And then it just clicked. Yeah. And then, out top, the defense was ridiculous.
It was crazy. I think Russ Smith being a much better player than everybody thought he was really elevated this team for sure. Who's had, speaking of Rick and Cal wins the title, goes Final Four. Rick, Final Four title. Cal, all the recruiting, they both have different brands and different formulas now. Who's had the best last 4 years?
I think Cal, I want to go ahead and admit that Cal has had a better 4 years. They were relevant more for the 4 years. The John Wall season was pretty impressive. It ended badly. In Elite Eight, if you're going to say Elite Eight's a bad ending, but and granted the NIT last year got it. But, boy, they've been relevant. I mean, the classes that he's brought in and the talent, the Anthony Davis year was ridiculous. Yeah. I'm all for that. The national champion, the 2 Final Four runs. But by an edge.
It's close. I can agree with that just by the buzz that he brought in with that and the recruits he had early on that really brought Kentucky just back to the top. I give him an edge, but, boy, Rick is right there. In fact, I think Rick is now, and I think he's widely considered. Not in this area, there'll be argument. Outside, I think Rick is the best college basketball coach in the country right now.
I think Mike Krzyzewski has to be on top of the list. But
you think he's above Rick now?
Mike Krzyzewski is the best basketball coach in America. There's not even an argument. I mean, the guy has won 4 national titles. He's brought pride back to the United States by winning the gold medal the last 2 years, or the last 2 rounds into the tournament. Mike Krzyzewski is the best coach in America, and right behind him, I agree with you. I think Rick Pitino is number 2, Calipari is 3, Tom Izzo, and Roy Williams would be my 5, right? Jim Boeheim is close 6.
I would maybe have Brad Stevens up there, even though he just what he's doing where he's at.
He's like a Denny Crum. He's winning more with less than anybody, and he's waiting for some job. I wonder what job he's waiting for.
I know. I mean, I can't believe somebody hasn't.
No, he's waiting for a job. He's waiting for a job.
Little Rick. It's going to be 10 years. Richard Pitino is going to be the coach here.
He might be. I'm with you. But have you been to the field house up there? I went to see Louisville play them.
I watched Hoosiers last week.
Oh, it is exactly like Hoosiers.
I watched Hoosiers last week.
It is exactly like Hoosiers. It is. When you walk in, it looks exactly the same when they film the movie. It was cool. Like, are you kidding me? And then the kids chanting. It was awesome.
All right, well, let's look ahead to this year. With Russ coming back, I'd put Louisville 1, Kentucky 2. That would be my order. I put Kansas 3. I put Louisville 1 because of what they have coming back. I know what I get. And they have some decent recruits to add to that. But you bring Russ back?
I think you're not paying attention if you don't. Preseason means nothing. But if you're not paying attention, if you don't put Louisville preseason number 1, they have 70% of their shooting back. They've added a recruiting class that's in the top 10. They've got some ballers. Granted, you're replacing Gorgie and Siva, which were the quarterbacks for the front and the backcourt. I get that. But, man, how do you not, with all that coming back and then the question marks, I get that it's the greatest recruiting class of all time, but until they play, in week 2, if you want to put them number 1, I get it. But preseason, you got to put Louisville 1.
Well, I tell you what, too. I think the Louisville-Kentucky game this year in
greatest game ever.
And it's going to be important. And here's why I say that. With Louisville, Louisville's out of the Big East now. The conference is still pretty good.
Yeah.
But when you're playing for Indianapolis, I think. When you play at Kentucky, you beat Kentucky, you're going to the Indy region over the Memphis region.
There's no
2
question.
number 1 seeds.
Yeah.
They might go down to head-to-head. Who wins the head-to-head? Because the conferences, SEC and the AAC, are going to be similar.
Right.
You might be playing for Indy.
They're going to both be undefeated by the time they play on December 28th. If you've ever want to break the bank and buy the tickets for the Rupp seats, this is the game to buy because it'll be not just the biggest game in this rivalry. It will be the game for all of college basketball next year that they pinpoint. That will be the game for the entire regular season will be UK U of L, the last 2 national champions on Rupp's floor, loaded. The systems will be Rick's system versus Cal's system. Throw the ball off, lace them up, let's play basketball.
All right, we're going to take a break. Come back in a moment. We're going to talk football with Tony Vanetti, the Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Smart shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll. You love your car, it's your best friend. There's one thing that you know. Before you drive around and in the city or town, you want to show her up, you know. Yeah, this is how you roll. That's what we're all about. Smart shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
I thought all cleaning services were the same until Molly made my carpets fresh, until Molly made my bathroom glow, until Molly made my kitchen shine. I thought all cleaning services were too expensive until Molly made my day. Now, meet the cleaning professionals that work as hard as you do. Call this number for your free in-home consultation and customized estimate. Wow, Molly Maid was here.
Don't let computer problems frustrate you, whether it's pop-ups, a virus, hardware or software problem, or troubleshooting any computer problems. Simply call Igloo On-Site Computer Repair. Igloo's highly professional, experienced technicians will come to your home or business and put an end to your computer problems at a third the cost of most competitors. Call now, 2 On-Site. That's area code 502-266-7483. Igloo On-Site Computer Repair.
We hope you like the Sunday Sports Buzz, and if you do, join the Mason and Myers in the morning, where I call in a couple times a week, 1450 the Sports Buzz. I join Jeff Mason, another Trinity guy, and the most optimistic Louisville fan on earth, Rashawn Myers. It's brought to you by Insuramax. Chad and Alan Hennessy, 479-4085. Chad and Alan, both great Trinity athletes and icons themselves. I'm with another Trinity, and speaking of that, the Trinity
I just
program.
had my 25th, right. Just had my 25th reunion last
Mine's
football
coming
season.
up.
Yeah. Get ready for that.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun, though. That campus is different.
It's unbelievable, and Trinity, Louisville actually going to get another. James Quick, I think, will make an impact. We're going to talk football right now. James Quick, speaking of Trinity, impact right away, in my opinion.
Okay. I will tell you.
Louisville.
I'll tell you this. Sean Watson, I was at a press conference about 3 months ago, and we were talking a little bit about the recruits, and he says Sean Watson already has packages. He got with Coverdale from if you don't know who Cal Coverdale is, he's the offensive coordinator, right?
For Trinity. Yeah.
Him and Beatty kind of call the plays, right?
Yes.
All right, but the game plans from Coverdale.
Coverdale's a mad genius scientist.
Sean Watson got with Coverdale. How do I use him? They're going to use Quick in the packages because there's some U of L fans going, oh, he's not going to see the field. Are you crazy? This is a John Wall type recruit, folks, that walks in. He's world-class speed, world-class talent. Wait till you, if you haven't seen him play, shame on you, but they've already got packages for him.
Well, just think. Teddy was phenomenal at accuracy, throwing that ball down the field, hitting Devontae Parker, all those other receivers. What you really didn't see a lot of was just taking the ball from the shotgun center and throwing it to the side.
Yes.
You can do that with James Quick.
Yes.
You just throw it over there, and then everybody just watch him dance.
That little slant. Because now you've got to guard Gerald Christian, which again is the tight end transfer from Florida, which everyone says is the second best football player on the team behind Teddy Bridgewater. Wow. So now you've got that tight end, and then in the slot, do you line Quick up in the slot, maybe?
Slot.
Okay, so now you've got two slants. Either one of those guys are open, and both guys have the capability to take it to the house anytime they touch the ball. Will this be the best offense, even better than your little brother's Brian Brom in 2006?
Well, it very well could be, and we're going to talk about the defenses they'll be playing won't be able to even come close to slowing them down. Now, last year at the Sugar Bowl, Tony, and we were both at the Orange Bowl. The Sugar Bowl was the most fun bowl of experience I've ever been around. It was phenomenal with the fans.
It's a watershed moment.
It was. It was a breakthrough. It was like I saw fans at the hotel with tears in their eyes because they've been there waiting for moments like this the entire
and it was rocky. It was rocky. no one gave Louisville a chance to win that game, including right here. I said if they kept it within 2 touchdowns, I'd be so proud of this Louisville team. Because Florida came in a legitimate national football championship contender. They lost to Georgia by 7, okay, for the right to go to the national championship and basically the SEC championship and go to the national championship. Okay, all right? There was no chance Louisville was going to win this game. And they came out and not just beat Florida, they pounded them into the dirt.
They did.
All game long.
Never in doubt was the game. It was over the first play, to be honest with you. The roof came off that place, and there were 30,000. They had 30,000 empty seats. The roof still came off the place with Louisville fans on the interception going for the touchdown. Louisville, great victory. Finished the season phenomenally, going to Rutgers to win the Big East on the road.
Iconic performance by Teddy Bridgewater.
Exactly, and no one will ever forget that, beating Florida. They had such a great finish that I'm going to bring it back down to earth just a little bit, because during the season, it wasn't all domination. They lost to Connecticut at home.
Well, what do you usually do? You throw out the worst game, you throw out the best game, that's your ball club?
Yeah.
Okay, you're throwing the Florida game out, you throw the Connecticut game out, that's your ball club. You had flashes of brilliance against North Carolina and Kentucky and, I don't know, a couple other teams, but you struggled against Cincinnati, which ended up being a good football team.
Yeah.
No slight, but you lost to Connecticut at home on senior day. Okay, that was Syracuse beat the out of you. Okay,
they did.
They went up there to Syracuse, and Syracuse made them look silly. Remember, Charlie Strong was livid.
That might have got Marone the Buffalo Bills job that game.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it really did. Again, you lost that middle linebacker, Preston.
Yeah.
Preston Brown. Look, you lost the senior little linebacker, so now you got those freshmen. The Mike linebacker is everything for that system because he's supposed to get the 13, 14 tackles a game. Everything's set up. Everyone's blocked. There's one guy free. Boom! He makes the tackle. You put your best athlete right there in that Mike linebacker, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So you take him out. You put a freshman in there. You got problems.
Yes.
Okay. So now, but the gain to that is, and to your point of which is the real U of L team, Florida or the UConn. It's probably the Pittsburgh team when they played Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, to where they put a ton of points up. They allowed a couple of points. It was dicey, but they won by double digits.
Absolutely, and that's the reason I want to pull the Brom card out.
Oh,
I'm going to pull the Brom card out.
We should have an actual Brom card.
The 06 season was a better season than the past season. The 06 season, the finish was spectacular, but the 06 season was better than the 12 season.
I agree with that. But potentially being able to put the points up, and here's the question of whether Charlie will allow Sean Watson to put the points up.
He's going to have to. That's the thing. I think with this schedule, and I was looking at it before the show today, Tony, the more I look at it, the worse it looks. I mean, you're playing the old Conference USA schedule. They're not going to play any defense in there. But you know what? It's a stressful schedule for Louisville because you're thinking, if we don't win all these games by 20-plus points, people are going to knock us down.
It's a 3-week season. Week 1, Ohio, which is a pretty good team, but they should win that at home. Kentucky at Commonwealth, and then the bowl game at the end of the season. This is a 3 out of 13
They're going to
game
beat Kentucky,
season.
Though.
Okay,
they're going to wipe them.
Kentucky,
I think.
I don't know what they can do with the new guy and then the personnel from Joker. So you got Brown, the offensive coordinator. What can he do? I want to say that Kentucky doesn't get over the 50-yard line. I want to say that.
Well,
but they're going to sling it. We don't know if Charlie's going to do what he did last year, which was he backed it out. He allowed them the underneath stuff, so they moved it inside the 20s all day. Remember, it was like, how is Kentucky moving the ball? But when you get to the 20, you use the sidelines and the end zone as defenders, and they clamp you down. Go ahead and kick a field goal.
He probably will go that route.
Right, that was the philosophy, but they moved it up and down. So I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to do that again?
Yeah, and you know what? I think Max Smith will be the quarterback because of that.
I
think
agree
he fits
with that.
perfectly. I know that Whitlow had a decent, but I think Max Smith is going to be the quarterback. Do you think Louisville goes undefeated?
That, you know what, and you know this as a coach. If you're playing grade school, high school, college, and the NFL, if you win just double digits, that's a heck of a season. If your grade school team wins 10 games, that's a heck of a year, right? If your high school wins 10 games, okay, now running the table, there's going to be a letdown. There's going to be 2 letdowns. You don't know what the weather's going to do. Look at Southern Miss last year and FIU. Those were supposed to be huge wins for Louisville, and they were not because the weather played a portion of this.
Yeah. You know what? Another game, I know Cincinnati at the end. If you're undefeated, you got to go to Cincinnati. Tuberville, He's going to do good there. You got to go there. That's going to be tough. I don't like this UConn. At UConn game, UConn beat you this last year.
Okay, I remember your brother and Crackthorpe's that senior year where, boy, the ball came out pretty quickly. Brian's not getting hit this year, okay? So the ball's going to be out. That's what they need to do with Teddy. All their packages need to be ball out, ball away, ball away. You don't need him standing back there and some joker from Memphis, the worst football program in America, takes your All-American out. Can't have it.
No, you can't have that. I'm going to say 11-1. I hate not to be a party pooper. I think 11-1 though.
Orange Bowl victory over Clemson.
And that'll be huge. 2 BCS wins in a row. That will elevate. We're going to talk about Charlie Strong in the next segment, talking still about Louisville football, where he ranks on college football coaches right now in today's college football landscape. I'm with Tony Vanetti. This is the Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our...
The landscape of sports radio has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz has you covered with the best and most local and national programming in the Kentuckiana area. Mason and Myers in the morning, The Dan Patrick Show, The Afternoon Drive with Perrin Johnson and Trevor Kelsey, and Inside the Press Box with Nick Coffey, as well as the best high school coverage in the area. Get the best coverage in Kentucky and Southern Indiana with 1450 The Sports Buzz
and 1450thesportsbuzz.com.
Hey, Roz here. How do I know so much about 1-800-ASK-SCARY? Since I work there, I get to see firsthand how we help people every day, 24/7. And if you've been in an accident, they can help you too. Don't be scared and confused. Call 1-800-ASK-SCARY as soon as you can, even if you're still on the scene. Find doctors, get your car fixed. Getting the help you need starts with just one phone call. 1-800-ASK-SCARY, your auto accident helpline. Trusted by accident victims for more than 10 years. Knowledge is power.
Hey guys, it's golf season. You know what that means? Father's Day is right around the corner. If you want to give your dad the best gift, give him the Bluegrass Golf Tour card. It's $99 for 8 courses, and it's a phenomenal deal. Come see us at shop21live.com.
How are you planning for your retirement?
We're more concerned about the return of your money than on it. We're not trying to grow it. We're trying to help you use and enjoy it.
Don't miss Tony Walker, Fridays at 1:30, and check us out on The Light, 21.3.
Welcome back. The Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org. Greg Brom along with Tony Vanetti, the original afternoon underdog. How long y'all been on the air now, Tony?
You know what? That is 7 years old now. The
Wow.
afternoon underdogs are 7 years old.
Now, when you started that, was there did you get skeptical? Oh, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work.
No,
and I know you believed this for years and years. Yeah. You kept telling me long before you started the dogs that you were going to do this.
I was going to do this. That's right. I did tell you this. Greg and I and the Broms go back to high school, and then even when Greg and Jeff and you guys were playing, I was on the radio at that time, and we were together for a long time, and we always stay in contact. You're my favorite guest to have on my radio shows. Your brothers, your dad. I love your dad, and even your sister, which is, by the way, the best athlete in the entire household, just to let you know. Right?
She actually still is an athlete,
yes, but
still getting it done.
The show is wonderful. It's on 790 AM if you get a chance to listen to it at 3 o'clock. It's more guy talk than sports. It's about a good mix of sports and guy talk. So it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It is a lot of fun. Dave Jennings joining Tony Vanetti on the afternoon underdogs. We've been talking Louisville football. Before we talk a little more Louisville football, Kentucky. New staff comes in. Kentucky's great at generating that excitement before they actually do anything. Right. But they got the buzz going. You got legitimate, good coaches. Neil Brown comes in there. Stoops has the name brand.
Their problem is that they have maybe the toughest schedule in the country.
I was going to say, how many wins could they even? I'm looking at that schedule. If
No,
they
they're
win,
gonna take their lumps.
the most they can win is 5, and that's if they beat Tennessee. When I look at it.
I mean, great challenges, great opportunities, right? I mean, that's what they have in front of them. They're running into your brother and Bobby on week
is
one.
the honeymoon over if they lose that one?
No, because I think that Kentucky fans want to see somebody put a hat on somebody and lose with some dignity. All right, they were not losing with dignity the last couple of years. If you lose by 3 touchdowns to Georgia, but you're putting hat on somebody, it's just like the Rich Brooks era. When those guys were playing football. I mean, they were going out there and then they surprised a couple of people. That's what they need to do for the next 2 seasons. He has a pass. He's recruiting like gangbusters,
Yes.
folks. And it is the MO that Charlie Strong laid down for him. These kids want to know they're playing for the same coach. So a lot of these guys are jumping on board with the guy that they just got a job because they know that everyone gets at least 3 years.
Yeah.
3 to 4 years is what you get in football. So they're like, well, at least I know I got this guy as a coach.
Absolutely, and you know, you're thinking Mark Stoops. I mean, he could be at Kentucky a while, even if he's successful. You're in the SEC.
The problem is they play in the NFL. I'm sorry. They play in the NFL. And at Louisville fans, beating Florida is the greatest victory in U of L football history. Got it. But now go play Georgia.
Right,
and then
week
the
after
next week
week.
go play South Carolina. Attrition is huge in this league.
Look who Kentucky this year, after they play Florida, the next week they go to South Carolina. Then they have the national championship Crimson Tide of Alabama coming to town the week after that. I mean, it's just a gauntlet that you can't survive.
Look at the coaches. Look at the coaches you're playing. Forget about the personnel. You've got Bobby Petrino, Charlie Strong, the old ball coach, and Nick Saban. Good luck.
It's really. And then, hey, and you could always count in the past that Vandy was a win. Not anymore.
No,
that's a loss. You put that down as an L now.
Yeah, that's right. At Vandy? No, that's
Vandy.
a loss.
That's a loss. So you know what? I'd say 4
If he
is
gets
good.
5 wins, he's
4
a
is
hero.
good. Oh, 5's a
If he
hero.
gets 5,
4
he's
is
a
good.
hero.
Yeah.
And go get him.
All right, Charlie Strong. Offseason. I think this whole buzz about the greatest year in Louisville athletic history, it began that week of turmoil with Charlie in Tennessee, right before the win at Rutgers. You hold on to Charlie.
Yep.
You get to ACC.
Yep.
What came first? I can't remember which one. That came second. That came after.
No, it was
Or
the
did
ACC
it come before?
and then
then Charlie.
No, Charlie said, yes, I'm staying before the ACC.
Before the ACC. So it starts right there. That's when all this whirlwind begins. Now, there's no reason really. I think there's only about 3 or 4 jobs you could even take from the ACC in Louisville. Maybe 2 or 3. If it tax, there's only a few, I think, that you can even take. Charlie Strong has elevated himself with pay and his stature beating Florida. Where do you think he ranks right now, college football coaches in today's landscape? Is he a top 10 coach? Is he 10 to 20? What do you think?
I think the buzz, since I'm on the sports buzz,
we talk buzz.
The buzz about Charlie is top 10, there's no question. But if you're going to start to list college football coaches, I don't know if you put him in the top 10. Again, he's been a head coach for just 3 seasons. So you got to accomplish a little bit more. But recruiting, gangbusters, and then applying those recruits on the field. You know, these guys are getting better. That was the problem under, Joker's players. You recruited well. They just either transferred or didn't get better. Under Crackthorpe, They either transferred or they didn't get better. When you recruit them, that's super. Just like Mark Stoops, that's super. Now, get them on the field and make them better. That's the different. That's the thing you need to know.
Well, that's what the Petrinos do real well, is develop guys you never heard of. Actually, even in basketball, I know Rick got a bad rap for not developing players, but now I don't even think about recruiting. I know when he gets them, we're going to make them good.
Yeah,
So you know that it's a good feeling to have. But Charlie, I checked Charlie. Right now he's between 10 and 20. I think he goes to a BCS game again, wins it. He's in the top 10.
Well, yeah.
And if I'm starting a program, I'm wanting him because he's going to recruit all the good players.
The Florida win gives you so much juice. You won a BCS bowl in year 3. That's a heck of a turnaround. That's a heck of a build from a conference that's just not that good. That is a heck of a building thing. Now you do the back-to-back BCSs, and then you go play that ACC schedule. And you got to replace Teddy. That's going to be the biggest key. But all the 2 deep, if you look at the 2 deep, they're sophomores and juniors. Okay, so you got another year. There'll be juniors and seniors.
All right, we got one more segment with Tony Vanetti. Be right back to Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by LivingForLess.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Little Bo Peep wanted a car for keeps. She looked all around and got turned down. Then she met the fine folks here at Jim Brown Auto Sales.
Don't let the wool be pulled over your eyes. Come see my daddy's flock of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs with down payments as low as $99. Visit us today on the web at www.jimbrownautoSales.com. Who's your daddy?
¿Quién es su papá? Cha cha.
A-Plus Copiers, your #1 choice for copier sales and service.
Hi, I'm JD Seaton, and we've been with A-Plus Copiers now for 4 years. We started out with 1 machine. We now have 4, one of which we got for free. We're very pleased with the service that they provided to us. When we call on them, they're very prompt and courteous. And if I had to give them a rating out of 1 to 10, I give them a 10.
Call Mike Burns to schedule your free consultation today. A-Plus Copiers, 270-307-3714.
Ohio Valley Wrestling, Saturdays at 12 noon, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on ION 21.
So when we are back, we'll scar your mind. Fight, 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 fight.
No, we're getting ready for 5th grade.
Hey. The best golf deal on the planet right here. $99. You've got
Okay,
8 great
Maywood
courses.
is out by your neck of the woods in Bardstown. Great course.
Great course.
All right, Indian Springs right there, right over by Tinseltown. Go see a movie and play some golf. Covered Bridge. There's no better.
No better
Champions
course.
Point.
Right there. Fuzzy's Place. I mean, and you want to take a little bit, a little tour, a little drive, Cave Valley. I mean, just not very far away, but maybe a place you haven't been before. Look at all these courses. Your whole summer is planned right here with us. $99, 964-2121, shop21live.com.
You know what you do there? You buy this package and then you show this to the wife. Look, honey, I paid for this. I've got to play. I got to play this 8 courses. And then when you already set the standard that you got to play 8 Saturdays or Sundays, okay, you got the out.
What would you do if you had like 8 Saturdays in a row? Free.
No, there's no way. I have a 7 and a 9-year-old. That's not happening ever. I'm never getting out. But this, at least, if you're making an effort, at least gives you the honey. I bought this card, and I gotta play these 8 spots.
Absolutely. Call us now. Limited supply, so make sure you grab one of those. And we've been talking all things Louisville today. Some Kentucky as well. College football and college basketball. And we've talked about Charlie Strong. We've talked about Teddy Bridgewater. Do you think he's going to get to New York?
He'll get to New York, but I don't know if he's got enough juice. There's so many great players. Braxton Miller from Ohio State.
It's actually a good quarterback year.
It really is.
Miller.
Murray from Georgia. Again, Johnny Football. I mean,
Clowney might be the best. He might win it. I think Jadeveon Clowney might win the Heisman from South Carolina on defense. That hit, he has the highlight reel already. The hit with the helmet coming off.
It's so tough, though, to win it from a defensive lineman position. Even like a corner or a linebacker, maybe even Te'o was getting close.
Yeah.
But it's so tough from a defensive lineman position. You know that. I mean, but I think Johnny Football is going to win it again. The only problem with Johnny Football is that the best defense coordinators in America are parked in the SEC. Okay? They're going to figure you out.
Saban hasn't slept for about
he's crazy. That man
12.
is crazy.
He is nuts.
I heard him speak. You were there. Were you there?
Unbelievable.
I was like this for an hour enthralled with Nick Saban.
The first coach that asked the question, he totally tore into the guy.
That
is a stupid question. Were you not listening?
Did you just listen to what I said? I answered that question in the statement I just made. And then I'm like, boy, who's got the guts to raise their hand?
Everybody else was frozen.
I'm like, there was no way you could. If you'd have grabbed my arm, I'd have been forced it to go up. I'm not asking a question, but he was awesome.
Unbelievable presentation. But yeah, Saban is planning for Manziel right now. And they got Alabama at home. That'll be his Heisman campaign. If he does it again, he's winning it.
But he's an amazing athlete. Look what he did to Oklahoma in that bowl game.
Yeah, he is. He's a one-man crew, really, on offensively.
So, Teddy, New York?
New York.
Yes. I don't think he can win it.
Yeah. I think New York, though. I think we're going to break that ceiling. We'll be shattered.
It's enough that he said he doesn't want the campaign. I mean, that he came out and said, the school went to him, hey, we're going to start this campaign. He's like, nope, I want to concentrate on football.
And that's the best campaign he could ever have, was saying he didn't want one.
But he needs his moment. Manziel last year had the Alabama win on national television on Saturday night. Everyone watched that game.
He might have to go 12-0, even to get maybe to New York.
But what's his moment?
I mean, 12-0, it's going to be a cumulative.
You know what his moment probably was last year against Florida.
Yeah.
That's your Heisman moment for this year.
I think it's going to have a 0 in that L column, possibly. I mean, that'll get you there.
It's a heck of a year because you've got Teddy Bridgewater that's vying for the Player of the Year in football, and Russ Smith will be vying for the Player of the Year in basketball. If you don't think he's not, he was second-team All-American last year on a national championship team, and a lot of people believe that was too low.
Oh, I thought he was amazing. He didn't have a great Final Four, even though he was a leading scorer in the semifinal.
For the first 4 games, though, he was rolling.
He was really the difference maker. 1 year, Russ Smith or Andrew Wiggins. You know what? Russ Smith, you're Louisville. You want Russ Smith or Andrew Wiggins?
Don't do this to me.
1 year, because they're both on the 1 more year.
Same team?
Louisville has their team. You want Russ Smith or Andrew Wiggins?
I got to pick Wiggins because my backcourt's already set. There's so many backcourt players. If Ware's back and you got the newcomers, I got to take Wiggins as a once-in-a-lifetime guy.
You know what? For 1 year, though, I'm taking Russ.
I can't believe you made me say that on television.
I know what I got. I know what I got in Russ. Russ has been the difference. I'm taking him.
I got you to say Teddy Bridgewater is better than your brothers, and I just picked Wiggins over Russ.
Oh.
We've done enough damage.
We've done enough damage. Exactly. Exactly. You get us talking, and we'll offend everybody that we know.
When does football practice start?
I tell you, July 15th, our first varsity season, my man.
How do we get to go see a coach?
We play DeSales Christian Academy. I got to play all the heavyweights.
You going to come to Louisville?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to have a ticket.
And Christian Academy, I believe.
I got to have a ticket. Now, is it's a Christian school?
No, it's a public school.
Oh, it's a public school. Okay, because I was like, if you ever seen the Brahms coach, it's a little salty.
Oscar's still getting it done, coaching the 8-year-old baseball.
Now, Oscar's a different story. Oscar's not salty, but Greg, salty coach. Yeah, watch your language, son.
Never. Always composed, under complete control. Yeah, no. Hey, let me ask you real quick. The ACC, and this has just been huge for this program, and what are you looking forward to the most about the ACC?
The football. I love the basketball. We've had great matchups with basketball, but football, I'm looking for the matchups with Clemson, Miami, Florida State, Virginia Tech. I cannot wait to go toe-to-toe with Frank Beamer. Cannot wait for the football matchups.
Yeah, I think the football program is what really takes the big upgrade. You know what else? You think Louisville makes a lot of money now? That ACC.
Oh.
Cash. You talk about building buildings and facilities.
We're planning on taking the afternoon underdogs to every away game the first season of the ACC.
Really?
We want to take the whole show, stay at Marriott's, and party with the new schedule, and to every away game and see how it's like, what it's like.
I tell you what, it'll be good, but I'd like to go to Cameron Indoor. If when Louisville goes to Duke, that might be the road trip.
And you know what?
Get in.
You know what I'm happy about? Bye, West Virginia.
Oh, what? Oh.
The Mountaineers.
Thankful for what we didn't get.
You could keep them. Sorry, West. I know a couple of West Virginia fans, and they're good people, but for the most part, their fans at their places are ridiculous.
Did they get the bad? Boy, they thought they got the Big 12, and we were stuck. And boy, we got the better deal.
They screwed up.
Did we take Cincy and UConn? Did they both get to the Big East?
I don't care.
All right. Tony Vanetti, Joy, first time on the couch.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me,
Make
man.
sure you listen to the Afternoon Underdogs on 790 with Dave Jennings and Tony Vanetti.
Thank you, sir.
We'll get you back someday.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you next week. Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by livingforless.org.
The landscape of sports radio has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz has you covered with the best and most local and national programming in the Kentuckiana area. Mason and Myers in the morning, The Dan Patrick Show, The Afternoon Drive with Perrin Johnson and Trevor Kelsey, and Inside the Press Box with Nick Coffey, as well as the best high school coverage in the area. Get the best coverage in Kentucky and Southern Indiana with 1450 The Sports Buzz
and 1450thesportsbuzz.com.